So in 8 months, you've never had statistics at GBV. You've only just requested them now, and even now, Higher Health is telling you they don't want to give you those stats. It makes absolutely no sense. It's quite frankly hogwash. The numbers are so sad and so bad that they want to be concealed. Essentially, because the reason they gave you the principle is if you give you those stats and you disclose them, nobody's going to want to come here because vele ki sexual assault, rape, GBV bill, muna. Ama-res wabafundi do not have access to hot water. What's the reason?
The first challenge that we had was the electricity outage.
When in electricity, ba?
Well, last month.
When electricity comes back, we were supposed to be in a position where we would have fixed the boilers. Ulinden.
Madam, angilinde lutho.
Mam director besikcele ngoba ubaba uthe ukufixwa kwamagisi ukuthi ingane zokwazi ukuba namanzi ashisayo kulinde wena. Njani gel?
Thank you for that. Kodwa akulindile mina. It's the CFO, if I'm not mistaken.
Ukephi CFO? CFO uhlelo ulalelo yasibuka siyadlala. Umama who's responsible for the kitchen tells us ukuthi kunamagundane, ipati yamagundane kuyadlala kudliwa ukudla wengane. Una ingane bab campus manager?
Yes, I do.
Zingaki ingane zakho? Like how old are they?
The oldest one is 22.
I'm sure you wouldn't want your child to be living at a res where ukudla kakhona khona bakhala ukuthi kubolile. The same principle applies to you, Principal. These things can't be happening under your watch. You guys are parents. You're supposed to be leaders. Thank you, Chairperson. Principal, Ndata Ngumalo, is your campus manager here? Where's the campus manager? Okay, I'll pause and wait. Let me actually, there's one question. Majority of my questions require him as the first port of call, but there's just one question I wanted to ask. You said that you were advised by Higher Health to not disclose the GBV stats of the institution because of fear that if those are made public, it may deter enrollment interests. Is that correct?
Yes, it wasn't for necessarily this one, for the whole.
Okay.
Yes, so.
But in any case, you know them. So Higher Health reports to you all the time was about the health of your institution.
In fact, I'm not even exposed to them because I started requesting them long ago. And then now, when I asked yesterday, on Thursday, why are you not sending this information? Because we wanted it as urgent as possible. And they promised to send it as quickly as possible, but I was shocked later when they said, no. They are preparing it, but they need to, I don't know whether they're sifting it or they're doing what.
Sanitize it, it's okay.
Yes.
So I worry,
yeah.
Principal. I worry about, because it seems to be chilled. Okay, so since you've been, how long have you been principal of this institution? Acting principal?
This is the 8th month.
8th month?
Yeah.
So in 8 months, you've never had statistics at GBV. You've only just requested them now, and even now, Higher Health is telling you they don't want to give you those stats. Previously, who did Higher Health give those statistics to?
I will not be sure of my former principal.
That is
who's here.
I'm asking this because I'm sure where you are weirded out yourself, as I am, because it makes absolutely no sense. It's quite frankly hogwash that a principal of an institution who's supposed to have his fingers on the pulse of the institution cannot know or does not know what the GBV stats of his institution are. For me, it makes absolutely no sense. And Luena principal, Babu Ngumal, you cannot accept that response
No, I
as a
didn't.
response that makes sense.
Yes, I didn't expect it.
So I'm asking Dr. Zungu for you to intervene in that regard. Because from where I'm sitting, that logic from higher health suggests that the numbers are so sad and so bad that they want to be concealed. Essentially, because the reason they gave you the principle is if you give you those stats and you disclose them, nobody's going to want to come here because vele ki sexual assault, rape, GBV muna. So I need you to please sort that before the end of today, Sihamba, and make sure ngiyacela kuwena baba ukuthi ubaba principal unawo lama stats uzokwazi ukuthi sixoxe kahle naye nalama number. Ngiyabonga. Ubuyile ubaba campus manager. Okay. Behind us. The campus manager.
Zolobang.
Of course, my time's so long. Thank you, Chef. Thank you. Campus manager. Can we give him a mic, please, for engagements? And also, let's be mindful of time, please. Data campus manager. What is your name, Baba?
Sithembiso Colin Makhanya.
Okay. Baba Makhanya, ama-res wabafundi do not have access to hot water. Amagiza wakho ngabonile awuthu phezulu. Isicapha sakhona siwile. You haven't replaced isicapha because initially the building had a wooden scapa, which was a poor idea because of the conditions of the area in terms of weather, you know. It's not a problem for me right now. What I want to understand is throughout all seasons, summer, winter, autumn and spring, students kulamares do not have hot water to shower. Yebo manzi ayaphuma empompini kodwa yabanda njalo. Ukuflasha siyakwazi ukuflasha he. But in order for students to clean themselves, they need to boil water baze nama basin. Kusuke emakhaya kusuke ama shower ekhona. What's the reason?
Well, madam, the first challenge that we had was the electricity outage, where we had no electricity, and then it was put on hold because since we don't have electricity, I was told that they just wait for us to have electricity so that the guys that will be dealing with boilers will be able to do so.
Buye nini electricity ba?
Well, last month.
Last month. So you haven't had electricity for a while, that we are aware. So you knew when, as a campus manager, that immediately when electricity comes back, we were supposed to be in a position where we would have fixed the boilers. Ulinden.
Madam, angilinde lutho, but the process I requested from infrastructure with to assist in tracking the guys that were going to assist us.
Who's responsible for infrastructure? Ubani lo mcelile la ekhona omcelile to fast track?
I was working with AT infrastructure.
Acting director infrastructure.
Yes.
Ugephi? Acting Director Infrastructure, usho babu campus manager ukuthi kulinde wena ukuthi amagiza asebenze. Okay, pieces.
Jump this side. Come this side next to. So campus manager, you had said earlier on when we were in the, what do you call that thing?
The computer lab.
No, up there, workshops. You said, yes, we did not have electricity, but we had generators. So are you saying now to Karabo Khakhau that the generators only worked in the workshops and not at the rest?
No, sir.
What are you saying?
Generator was working the whole campus.
But not for the geysers.
Unfortunately, it was not working for the geysers.
Why? What? Because you are saying to her, the reason the geysers were not, the students did not have home water is because there was no electricity. But now you are saying, even though there was no electricity, there was generator which replaced electricity. So what was the reason why the taps did not release home water?
Chairperson, is because the boilers will need maintenance.
So that's the reason, it's not electricity. The problem is the maintenance of the boilers, not electricity.
It's both, Chairperson, because that's where it was put on hold when our electricity was cut. The process of repairing the boilers.
Let me assist you, Chair. So you would remember there was a split in the oversight. My understanding, campus manager, I'm a boiler, I a boiler manzwin. But that the water does not reach the taps. So I a boiler but agapun. Unless when no ma'am director can explain. Ma'am director besikcele ngoba ubaba uthe ukufixwa kwamagiza ukuthi ingane zokwazi ukuba namanzi ashisayo kulinde wena. Njani gel?
Thank you for that. Kodwa akulindile mina. Mina, we have done our part in a sense that we have made a requisition to say we need this sort of service from our service providers. However, we have not received support as both the campus and as infrastructure. We have not received support.
Ubaba uthi kunonto enjalo icela wena uyisusa uyinika bani?
Okay, when him and I will talk campus and infrastructure, we will say this is what we need to.
Who do you ask that assistance from?
And central office will make requisitions to the central office for a certain whatever service that is required.
By central office.
It's just that it's a long process. A requisition is a long process, so it'll go from from his office, because this is campus budget. It'll go from his office, I suppose, to his immediate supervisor, finance, and everyone involved. But when it is campus budget, that is as far as go, I will initiate the process as to say this is what is required.
The person who's responsible for approval for you guys to get the boilers fixed to make sure who's the last port of signature of approval?
It's the CFO, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, CFO. Where CFO uhlelo lalelo yasibuka siyadlala. Who? So CFO, in your understanding, when there's a requisition for maintenance, and there's a broader question, it's beyond the boilers. What we're trying to understand is the ceilings are also falling in. They're falling into the students' bedrooms. They're falling into their showers. Kuningi. So how long does it take for you to fix Like, so if there's a requisition sent for you to approve, how it should immediately within a day or two, you should get that and then you must process. So what's the hold up?
Yeah, I think a process, it's an electronic system, so it should be fast. But there are so many requisitions that are there on the system, but within like 2 days requisition.
That's not true. What you're telling me is not true, because if it were true, listen, that if it were true that within 2 days things are supposed to be approved and actioned, then since last month when Ukes Ufiga, if they are telling the truth that they have indeed reported land in time, then it means already.
Yeah, it's somewhere where I was going. I was saying, if there are those requisitions, they must give me the requisition numbers so that I could know. But like, I'm not sure if those requisitions have been launched and where are they currently. I can only track requisitions if they say it's a requisition number, so and so and so and so. I can get into the system and find out.
I'm going to move, Chair, because of time, but here's the point that I want to make to you, Principal. You have a clear case of a lack of leadership across departments. Because internally under your branch, CFO, you're supposed to have managers who are responsible for fast-tracking requisitions that are important and making sure that things are done. So for me, you to say you're supposed to get a requisition number for you to track as if you are an ESCOM number to say we're going to trace if Nkandla is going to come back does not make sense to me altogether. It means the finance directorate, that office in its entirety, does not have an operating system that allows requisitions to come through and process them. And if what I'm saying is a lie, then it means the campus manager no infrastructure about when they send through these requisitions. But as a bottom line, Principal, you can't have a case where students are supposed to, where they have showers, proper showers, that just need shower heads, and there's no hot water that is washing dishin when there's a shower available and they must boil water. That's not right. We should not do that. Number two, campus manager. Cold rooms in the kitchen have not been working for over a year. So the cold rooms are fridges where you put food for storage. Instead, nifaka ama-wheelbarrow, ama-thuluzi, ama-cementi, nani kuyadlalwa nje. The cold rooms are not working. You have a smaller nyana deep freeze to put food there. Khona students who are complaining ukuthi since kuyavulwa le residents from 2023, some of them have been eating spoiled food, Principal. That's what students are saying. Angazi ukuthi unayo ingane bab campus manager?
Yes, I do.
Zingaki ingane zakho? Like, how old are they, if you don't mind me asking? You're welcome to don't want to respond. It's okay if you don't want to.
The oldest one is 22.
Your oldest child is 22 years old. That is umuntu okumele mhlawumbe is in postgraduate studies or mhlawumbe uyaqala ukusebenza. Shuti, they have gone through a campus experience. I'm sure you wouldn't want your child to be living at a res where ukudla kakhona khona bakhala ukuthi kubolile. The same principle applies to you, Principal. These things can't be happening under your watch. You guys are parents. You're supposed to be leaders. And on top of that, campus manager, when the cold room is not working, the dry storage area, umama who's responsible for the kitchen tells us, ukuthi, kunamagundani, ipati yamagundani kuyadlala kudliwa ukudla wengane. Whereas you can just fix the ceilings and close the leakages to make sure ukuthi ukudla kwengane is not infested, is not toxified. Anganasteni yini enzima lapho. Asisho ke ufixa nini uafixa nini ama ceiling.
Madam, There was someone who was busy with fixing of the ceiling as we speak, and the one that talks to Amapes. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2 months down the line, we did a pest control. And right now, it's a surprise that again they've surfaced, but that information, it's something that I didn't receive. But since then, I've received. I will also start afresh and make a new requisition for pest control.
What do you mean there was somebody who was responsible for fixing ama ceilings? Ayawa, siyabona. Uqale nini lo msebenzi?
No, service provider.
Uqale nini lo msebenzi wokufixa ama ceilings?
Early last week.
Ngoba kuza thina. Ngiyabuza nje because there's a whole lot of web. Ufana nale TV enifake namhlanje kuseni ingane kade zihappy ukuthi iTV ku room iyafika namhlanje kuseni ni mountain namhlanje bikade ingekho. Jigi nama ceiling no akhanda na fixa this week. Wi-Fi now ufakwe this month because the committee is coming. So if the committee was not coming, bungeke uzuyenze lo msebenzi. Chaza ke ama fridge walungisa nini?
The order is already out, madam, for fridges and air cons.
Where put the fridges, these one cold rooms are mounted to the walls. So what you need to fix the generators and the dondons leszazo. So what do you mean you've ordered more?
No, I'm saying, madam, I've already made a requisition for it to be fixed.
When did you make the requisition?
It's been a while because even the service providers, they came for a site inspection.
Kabil.
So that's why we are saying we are waiting for the processes to unfold because they came for inspection. Hopefully then they will receive the order soon and then they will start doing the job.
I'm closing, Chair. My worry is it's been a while. You don't fast track, you don't go. Some you do them last week in October because Karabo Khakhau beyeza. The bottom line is those fridges have not been working for over a year. October, March. So you've done it a while ago. To me, it says ingane ezinye meziphethwe yisisu uma wabo ekumele bahambise ngemoto yakhe ebusuku ziyebhedlela konyanga kuphi sigula zidla ukudla okubolile kuwena. That's not an emergency ngoba kuyona ingane yakho ayisalanga wena.
That's not true, madam.
Ngiyayenga sha.
Okay. Before I give you, Honorable Khakhau, I just want to remind colleagues that at the beginning of the meeting I said this plenary is now a meeting of Parliament and benefits and cases of Parliament apply. One of them is that when somebody is asking questions or answering, we don't have a commentary. We don't do those things. So we must be disciplined. So we don't do. The second one is that we don't mislead these people because you'll be regarded as lying in Parliament. And we do have Powers, Privileges and Immunities Act, Section 14, that empowers us to charge you for perjury. We don't want to do that, so don't lie. Don't lie. There are certain things that we can verify. We have made a requisition, we can verify. there's a purchase order or not, we can verify that information. So don't lie to these members. Let's accept where there's been weaknesses and let's fix. When I opened earlier on, Principal, I said, still at the residences, we do have ceilings falling apart. And if you are saying the person is fixing there, I wonder where they've started. Because I've not seen, and maybe they've started in the rooms where we did not have access. But from what we've seen there, there's not been work, there's not been any work done. So let's be honest as a response so that we don't have problems.